everybody. Welcome to the Female Film Critics panel. And this show where we like to talk about movies, and particularly we're talking the best and a few worst of 2025. And it's become an annual tradition to have my girls with me to do this. Manda's here.
Heyo, happy to be back. If my voice goes, I'm very sorry.
Yeah,
I've been trying to get rid of it for a very long time,
You're
but
such a
here I
trooper.
am.
Thank you so
Woo!
much for
No
doing this.
problem.
And Molly's here.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well myself, drinking some coffee out of my Barry Lyndon mug.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I know some people will like that.
Did you have a good Barbara Stanwyck themed Christmas?
I did, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Cute.
I had a few small barbs right there.
Small barbs.
Well,
Yep.
before we dive
Mm.
into our top six, and then we have a bottom three, is what we decided to do.
Mhm.
How do you feel about the year as a whole, as far as the year in movies? Do you think it was a strong year, weak year? How do you feel? Molly, what do you think?
I think every year is pretty strong as long as you know what you're looking for.
Yeah,
If
that's
all you
Yeah,
depend on is just the American film market, it's just going to be disappointing for the most part.
facts.
Yeah. hmm
hmm Well, do you agree then? You agree, Manda?
Oh yeah, this like honestly, out of all the international features I've watched this year, they completely
hmm
blew my mind. And
Hmm
if we do keep ourselves in that box, it's going to be hard to kind of say that every year is a good year for
Yeah.
cinema. But I do think that with what was released by studios in 2025, I think people should be very happy that we're getting some different like
hmm
original
hmm
films and
hmm
like audiences are changing, I
hmm
think, because blockbusters aren't doing the same thing as they used to. But I'm really happy with the variety this year, and I'm happy that like there's a lot of 4.5s on my list, and like it's a deep
Yeah.
list,
hmm
hmm
which is
hmm
amazing. So I'm happy. I'm happy about this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think studio films has been pretty decent compared
hmm
to the previous year,
Yeah.
2024. I was way more
hmm
positive on movies like Superman and Fantastic Four, and uh, that that we had more sort of, I mean, when you have something like Sinners released from
hmm
the studios, when you have something, and I do agree that I think the variety, and I was very pleased with the comedies from this year. I think it's been a very
Yeah.
good year for comedies because like
hmm
most of the time I have a hard time finding a movie that will really make me like belly laugh,
hmm
you know?
It's
And
true.
this year to have Naked Gun, to have
hmm
Splitsville, to have Fackham Hall, just those
hmm
three alone are hilarious.
Yeah.
And then you have movies like Eternity, which is has quite a bit of humor in it. You
hmm
know, Ballad of Wallace Island,
hmm
movies that aren't as like uproarious, but are still
hmm
pretty funny. Even Sorry Baby has,
Yeah.
a bit of humor
And we
in
had a
it.
good January comedy come out one of them days.
Oh,
This
I
is
know.
Yes and Kiki.
I need
That's
so
right, it
many.
was this year. You know how
Yes, and
long
that
this
was
year's been that I thought it was last
yeah.
year? I was like,
So
oh,
true.
like I'm not gonna watch it to fill my numbers. No, of
Yes.
course not.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. It really does feel like
Right?
another
Yes.
another millennia ago.
hmm
Crazy.
Yeah. Um,
Are you a fan of Rachel's reviews? Do you look forward to Family Movie Night, Female Film Critics panels, or the Talking Disney podcast? If so, please consider supporting the podcast by becoming a patron. As a patron, you get to access monthly events such as the watch-alongs and Q&As, where you get to talk to stars and find out the behind the scenes of the movie making industry. And you can pick what I review for Family Movie Night or even become a guest on the podcast. Podcasts and YouTube channels are expensive, and I really, really could use your help. I would so appreciate it. You also get to be a member of the Facebook group where we talk about all the films that we're seeing, and we have so much fun. Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies and select one of the Rachel's fan tiers. That's patreon.com/hallmarkies.
well, let's dive in. Let's talk about our worst of first. So we're just going to do three worst of picks. And first one that I want to talk about is one that I admit I'm on island alone that I really hated this movie. It's Friendship is my number three. I thought this was one of the most annoying experiences of my life. I hated it so much. I thought, I thought he would, I mean, I get it that that's the point of the character to be annoying,
Mhm.
but it was
Yeah.
too successful for my taste.
Yes.
I just really was irritated the entire time. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't laugh. I wanted to leave the whole time. And yeah, it
I
just
wish you would leave, really, literally.
yeah. Yeah,
I
just
think you should
not for
leave.
me. You know, there's sometimes when you watch something you just have to say, it was not for me.
No. Mm-mm.
No. So
That's
that's my
fair.
number three worst. What about you, Monda? What's your three?
I have a couple, but I think the one that disappointed me the most, even just by the trailers, I'm like, this is not gonna go anywhere for me. It's Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere.
Mhm.
Mm,
Mm.
I had a really hard time watching that one just because I love Jeremy Allen White, but I think he
hmm
was so miscast as Bruce Springsteen.
Mhm.
mm,
I think they could have gotten someone else who's like at least closer to what he looked like and bit like less recognizable of like who
Mhm.
he is. It's kind of hard to watch it and then not think of Carmy half the time. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's really hard. But the movie itself was just like very lackluster. I found it
Mhm.
dull, a bit
yeah.
like uninteresting. We didn't really see like the concert stuff, and then everyone's like, "That's not the movie that they were trying to make." I'm like, I understand that, but at the
Mhm.
same time, like somewhat integrated a bit more. I think that
Mhm.
like you have someone who's going to play like Bruce Springsteen. Like these are like musical
Mhm.
biopics that like, you just kind of got to deliver something more than going by the numbers in a different way, if that makes sense. So yeah,
Yeah,
that was disappointed me.
you have to be like super invested in the creation and authenticity of
Mhm.
this album.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
like, oh my gosh, if he doesn't get it, recorded it from his bedroom, then like he is not, and then he has no artistic integrity. And it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. There's
Yeah.
just a limit of how like super invested I can get in
Mhm.
how this particular album was recorded. I don't know. It's just
It was
not
just
that
yeah,
exciting to me.
Yeah. Just tell
agreed.
people to watch Blinded by the Light if they want a good Bruce
Oh
Springsteen-esque
yeah.
movie right
It's
there.
so good.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
Mhm. Yes.
What about you, Molly? What's your third worst?
All right. So I guess I gotta go with the one that was my most popular review of the year. And I think you're probably gonna be like, wait, this is just number three for you? There's two others worse from you? It's like, yes, there is. But so it was Wicked for Good. I
Uh-huh.
wrote it over 1,000 word review for it. It was my longest review. And I thought I was going to get more backlash for it, but, and I'm not coming from a person who's always disliked Wicked. I was a fan of Wicked. I know all the lyrics. I used to have all these t-shirts in middle school and high school. So I'm not coming from it from nowhere. But the way it was adapted and the way it was structured, the way it was done, it just did not work. It fell so flat for me. There's no wonder, there's none of that. Like you got a hints of that in the first part,
Mm.
and then the second part just like landed with a thud, which I think was already gonna happen anyway, because even
Yeah.
when I watched it when I was 14 on stage, I was like, this second half is kind of clunky. This is
Not
just,
good.
it's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
good. No, no. So maybe it was doomed from the start, but I feel like John Chu exaggerate the issues, unfortunately, and I'm just. It should have just been a
Yeah.
long one movie. Like Avatar, we
Yeah,
proven
it
we can
should have.
stand for 3 hours. We
Yeah.
don't need
Yeah.
this extraneous detail and all this stuff. We really don't need it. That doesn't enhance the picture. In fact, just makes it
Yeah.
worse.
I mean,
So,
I told the rep coming out of it, I said, I think they made about the best part two that they could have made of Act Two,
mhm.
Yeah.
but they shouldn't have made an Act Two. Like, that was the problem. It was a bad
Yes.
idea. And almost every Broadway fan would have told you
Hmm.
that and said, when they
Yes.
announced it, almost everybody was like,
It's like it's not
not a
good.
good idea.
Like,
And
no.
I
I,
even brought up in my review that I don't think it won the Tony Award for Best Musical, even though everybody thought it was going to be, but because the audience, the voters were remembering how
yeah,
lackluster Act Two is.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it all, when you watch it, it all kind of evens out
Hmm.
because you watch it all together. And so
Yeah.
all of those
Hmm.
good parts and all those
Hmm.
things, when you're just exclusively, plus then you've had all the great experiences, at least
Hmm.
for a lot of people, of part one.
Hmm.
And so then, but now you've isolated part two instead of it being a combined
Hmm.
experience. Like it just,
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
I was a mixed review on it, but I get it.
Hmm.
I really do. Well, my number two worst is from an animator that I love. I love Gendy Tartakovsky, but his Fixed was
Oh.
just the epitome of a one joke movie,
Oh.
a one joke. Like it was like all they got was that dog testicles are funny. That was it. That was the only joke.
Mm.
And there's even like a very bizarre sequence where there's this rape joke that
Ugh.
I was just bizarre,
Yeah, it's tough.
and
Mhm.
it's just the same joke over and over and over and
Mhm.
over and over again that you're
Oh,
just
jeez.
exhausted by the end. Like I can enjoy something like a raunchy movie. I'm not as much of a prude as people think I am. And but this was just it was exhausting.
Ugh.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
And
that's
get it.
not what a
frustrating
comedy
that
should be.
it was
Mm.
frustrating that somebody as talented as him would put so much creative energy and so much it was just into something that was
Hmm.
so bad
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I really
That's
disliked it.
I hope
unfortunate.
he got a good paycheck from it so he can do something else, like
I,
Samurai Jack or like Primeval, something like that.
I hope so too. I hope so
Hmm.
too. I mean, but this was his creative project. That's the thing. I mean,
Ugh.
he did all the Hotel Transylvania stuff. Like in
Hmm.
his eyes, that was the slop, and this was the creative enterprise. But I would way rather watch Hotel
Oh,
Transylvania
yeah.
than watch this. So, you know, some
Yeah.
creative
Hmm.
projects work and some of them don't. You know, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do?
Hmm.
But Mondo, what do you have next?
I actually have Christy down
Mm.
on my worst
Oh,
list.
yeah. Hmm.
Listen, before Sydney went off the rails, I think. Let's say off the rails. Let's say off the rails with everything. I really liked her. I thought she was really awesome. I liked her a lot. But then I really watched what she was putting out there, and she's not as strong as a performer as it may have appeared before. Apart from that, Christy Martin's story is really good. Like it's a
Hmm.
really good, it's a powerful story. It's impactful. Hated the execution with this thing.
Hmm.
I just even with her queerness, it really pissed me off certain aspects that they hid from viewers, they hid from other characters. I just didn't like that they used that particularly as a crutch in this film. I don't like the way the final act was executed because of what happens to her. I just think it looked very cheap.
Hmm.
And I don't think that they delivered on her story whatsoever. I mean, people can mask it as much as they want. There
Hmm.
is like a more impactful way that this could have been delivered. And I just, even Ben Foster's character was just a bit too cartoony
Hmm.
Mhm.
for
Hmm.
any of this to even be believable. So it felt very, very odd. Very
My
odd.
problem with that movie is it
Yeah.
was just so repetitive. It was just the
Yeah.
same
Hmm.
scene over and over and over
Hmm.
and over again. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we get it, I mean, and so yeah, I agree. That was not
Yeah.
Hmm.
successful in the
Mm.
end. Uh, what about you, Molly? What was your next pick?
So I'm sure some people will argue like you can't count a short film in this lineup because it's a short film. It should be feature length. But I say if the short film is done by a very notable director, who's one of the most famous directors
Yeah.
of all time, I think we can let it slide. And
Hmm.
so this a couple weeks ago, I watched Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair with one of my
Oof.
besties, and that was one of my favorite movies growing up. Like I was 13, I was in it. Uma Thurman was one of my hugest crushes. I loved the score, I loved the cinematography, I loved all the amalgamation of everything Quentin Tarantino was putting from. And then we stayed for the end credits.
Oh,
And we were the only ones there because
oh, that
everybody
was the
else
Minecraft
knew
thing or something?
Fortnite, Yuki's
Fortnite, yeah.
Revenge. We stayed. My
No
friend made a
way.
joke like, no, we have to stay for the whole thing. I'm like, fine, we're staying. And he's like, no. I'm like, yes, you just put it out there. We're gonna do it.
Oh
And I
God.
regret it. It is one of the biggest cash grabs I've ever seen any director do, not including Steven Spielberg constantly producing the Transformers movies, which I think has more artistic merit than Yuki's Revenge. It makes
Crazy.
zero sense within the
Yeah.
logic of Kill Bill. And Kill Bill already has very lofty logic because you have to ask yourself, like, how does she get this money to go to Okinawa after she wakes up from this 4-year coma? How does she have the resources to buy a motorcycle? All these things. You don't say where does money come from? Does she have a Swiss bank account? Never says. So we're just gonna go with that. Here, it makes even less sense because they have to use Fortnite logic where, oh, the go-go sister Yuki has to come in and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna take this awesome juice thing. It's hinted to be like amphetamines, but they can't say it because it's Fortnite. It's for children. So it's like a blue juice thing. And Tarantino, of course, makes a cameo in it, playing Bill, doing the worst David Carradine impression I've ever heard.
No.
Yeah, it is. And they brought Uma Thurman back for this, and she does motion capture. And she just looks tired, and she's like, I'm done with this. What are you doing? Which makes sort of sense for the character because she just got done killing Vernita Green in this. And they add all this extraneous Fortnite stuff that only Fortnite fans really like and get. And it's just so baffling to me. And of course they drop the F-bomb, stuff like that, but you can't have real blood. They gotta go and blue spark things when they die, when characters die. And you're just like, why am I watching this? What have I done with my life to where I'm watching this, where one of my, like, except for Jackie Brown, Kill Bill is Tarantino's masterpiece, in my opinion. I think it's the best thing he's ever done.
Agreed.
And one of my favorites. And to see this tied to it because he wants a little extra money. It's like you live in the richest neighborhood in Tel Aviv, Tarantino. You are super rich. What are you doing? Why? You don't need to do this. But of course he's going to do
Mhm,
it because he
mhm.
wants that extra money. And maybe
Yeah.
he'll say this is his 10th film and then he'll just retire. It's just would he put that limitation on himself, like Scorsese, and making some of the best films of his entire career?
It's
And if he
true.
quit after his 10th film, like we wouldn't get Killers of the Flower Moon, Irishman, those films. Just like Tarantino, your ego, you need to drop your ego a little bit. It's just, it was so frustrating. And it's just like, and it lasts only like 10 minutes. And I'm still just like, this is one of the worst 10 minutes of my life. Like, wow, yeah.
That's a lot. I believe it.
That's funny. Uh, well, my worst of the year, it almost seems that it's gilding the lily, giving it more attention than it deserves. This to say this is the worst of the year, because I mean, we all had to do things to get through the pandemic. I understand
Mm-hmm.
that, but not all of those should be released to the general public. Let's keep those just as little
Oh,
family
oh
projects, you know.
Oh
no.
It's
no,
like,
I know exactly
and
what you
Oh
so
mean.
no.
War of the Worlds was
Oh
just
yeah.
embarrassing on every level. Everybody involved should be embarrassed. They should all be put on timeout, not allowed to
Hmm.
make anything for a long time because
Nada.
it was so bad. The product placement was embarrassing.
Hmm.
That they tried to pretend that Amazon.com was literally the thing that's going to save the world from the aliens. That I mean,
Yeah.
it's just so bad. And
Hmm.
I've enjoyed, like I really thought I liked Searching. I liked,
Hmm.
you know, some of these doing the screen life, I think is what they call it, a
Hmm.
type of movie. It can be effective, just like
Hmm.
anything else. It can be good with good writing. And I could see how again with like family during the pandemic being like, oh, that was sort of a fun way to pass the time when you're bored, and but you don't need to release it. We don't need to all see it.
Hmm.
It was very, very bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I get
Yeah.
Yeah.
it.
No.
It's did you guys see this?
I did. It was actually going to be not my number one too, but now I feel like
Okay,
I have to
good.
bring up
Yeah.
another one I didn't like.
No, it's okay.
I can't.
I mean, it is
I could
unpardonable.
talk about Captain America, the Red Hulk.
Oh yeah, that was very bad.
I
I
forgot
mean,
that came out this year. Oh my God. Oh shit. That's,
the other one that I would say is the worst. I mean, some of my other worst, Juliet and Romeo,
Oh yeah.
Sneaks,
Hmm.
animated Sneakers movie. That was very
Oh
bad.
geez.
Bride Hard, and
Oof.
then the woman in Cabin 10.
Hmm.
And then this horrible documentary called I Am Curious Johnny,
Mm.
where this guy he claimed that he was that they were advertising that he invented the selfie, and then you watch the movie and it's like, no, I invented the celebrity selfie, and it was basically
Oh.
like just this guy being like, look at all my famous friends, and I'm like, I don't care. Why do I care if you're famous friends? Like, if you have nothing interesting to say about your life,
No,
who
no.
cares?
that's
Mm-mm.
so funny.
Like that you have famous friends, and
A
so
whole
that would
doc.
be
The
the
selfie has
worst.
been as old as the camera has, so you can't even
Yeah.
claim that.
I mean, that's what because they had to admit that in the documentary. They were like, yeah, people are doing selfies since the 1920s. I just created the celebrity selfie.
Ugh.
You're
That's
so annoying. I
yeah,
hate
no.
you.
Yes.
I didn't know you exist, and now I hate you.
Yes.
But but
That's funny.
Mondo, what's your worst?
My worst, it's hard. It's between two, but I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah,
That was a very tough
that's bad.
watch. That I didn't
Hmm.
know what the hell was happening. I thought Tyreek Withers was amazing. I thought he was very good. Um, Marlon Wayne's also so good. But it was just
Yeah,
like, what are we doing here? Had no, like I understand like the drive of being the GOAT, like like football. There's pandemonium around it. I totally get it. Um, but it's just the third act fell apart too, just
Yeah.
because people were coming in, spirits were coming in, Julia Fox acting weird. Like it was just,
yeah.
the shock for the sake of shock value.
Hmm.
And it didn't really work with the story. Because what's crazy is that there's so many incredible ideas in this thing.
Hmm.
It came down to execution and a poor script,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
It's
There,
all
Yeah.
ideas, no actual
yeah,
movie.
it's all
Yeah, no.
ideas. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna go this way. No, they're gonna go this way. No, it just
Yeah.
didn't happen. It looked beautiful though.
Hmm.
There was
Cinematography was just holy. It was so good, but
there
everything
was
else,
little else that like that movie was such a struggle bus like to stay
Hmm.
yeah,
awake.
it
It
was
was
tough.
so boring.
Very
Hmm.
tough.
It
Yeah,
was it was tough.
very tough.
So when you can elaborate, or if you want to pick a different one, Molly, you can elaborate on the
I
pain
think
and
you pointed out
punishment.
everything I brought up with my issues for War of the Worlds. So I will then bash Brave New World by Captain America with
Yeah,
Captain
yeah.
America.
Steve,
Like the
look who's in
fact
my
this year has
corner.
felt so long because you're like,
It was
oh,
so
it
forgettable.
turned Anthony Mackie, like Robert Daniel in Roger Ebert's review called him a magical Negro. They turned him into that. And I agree with you, Mr. Daniels. Yes, because then it's like, we don't know what to do with the Falcon now that he's Captain America. Let's focus instead on Harrison Ford, who's taking
And the
over this
Hulk,
role
yeah.
from William
Yeah,
Hurt, who passed away. Instead, making a white man your main narrative drive into this role. And then Anthony Mackie's like, this is not like you. This is not like you. You could hear it's like, oh my God, what are we doing? And you're just so bad. And they
yeah,
still kept the Israeli agent. And during this time, like they didn't even dub in a line saying that, oh, she's not, she's really actually Russian or something like that. It's like that she came from the Red Room, but they still bring up she's Israeli. I'm like, there are a lot of issues with that right now. Why are you still having that in your movie? You could just ADR that line out and you can claim this Israeli actress is not Israeli. You don't, she doesn't have to be. You could
yeah,
say something else, but you still had to go with that and you had to, which still promotes that propaganda because they did also delete her out of the costume. So she has that weird blazer for the entire third act, which is really silly to look at, where she's like, she's doing this action stuff and, but she's got a blazer. So she's got to hide the Israeli flag she's got under her costume. So that was
yeah.
just clunky, awkward, and it's just Liv Tyler looked like in her one cameo looked like she did not want to be there. I hope she got her good paycheck for that.
Same.
Mhm.
Like you could have left after the fight and everything and be like, "Oh, Liv Tyler was in this movie?" Like, and you would have missed much of
Yeah.
anything. And you're just like watching it. It doesn't understand the political landscape. It doesn't understand why people love the Falcon and why we were excited to see him as Captain America. And my friend even pointed out that we already had the show with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier where he already proved he could be Captain America. Why are we reading the story? It's like, oh,
That
because
doesn't.
China doesn't have Disney Plus because yeah. And it's just like, so don't tie it to your show where we have to do
Yeah.
homework. I could imagine like Kevin Feige just like waving his finger at me like, you didn't watch the show. That's your fault. So that's why you didn't get the movie. I'm
Mhm.
like, if billions of people in China, which provides a lot of box office revenue for the Marvel film, can't watch that show to get the research to know what's going on, then that's a Disney problem. That is not an
Yeah.
It
audience
is a Disney
problem.
Well,
problem.
the biggest problem with the MCU is that
Mhm.
I think its biggest strength for a long time was the puzzle building aspect of it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Was that even in like a weaker movie, you could have fun
Mhm.
with it because you could see, okay, this is
Yeah.
what they're doing here with Thor in
Mhm.
this movie, this is what they're doing
Yep.
with Loki, whatever. And you
Mhm.
could put all the puzzles together. That was
Mhm.
fun.
Mhm.
And also the stronger movies oftentimes made the weaker movies better. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
altogether, the puzzle
Exactly.
aspect of it worked.
Mhm.
Well, when they went crazy with the shows, they completely lost that aspect.
Mhm.
You
They
can't do
really
that
did.
anymore. You don't want
No.
to do it anymore. It's not fun
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
And that's a huge problem.
And I feel so bad for Anthony Mackie. He's been a part of this for over a decade,
I know.
and this is what they give him for his lead. He
Yeah.
deserved better. He
Yeah.
deserves so much more.
It is
Oh,
at best
man.
forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
And
It is,
so,
which is so
yeah.
Yes.
sad. I was so excited for him.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been so angry walking out of a theater in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was so pissed off. Like Cap's my boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mhm.
why like I was rooting for him the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Even during when the show was airing, people did not care that he was about to be like that he was Captain America. No one cared.
Mm-hmm.
So like it just sucks that that shouldn't have been a show introduction.
Yeah.
That's why it's like none of this made any sense for him. And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that he had to prove himself again, as Molly was saying,
Mm-hmm.
that aggravated me. Because like, why did that have to be done? Because, for
Mm-hmm.
other reasons, unbeknownst to like the general audience, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it sucks so bad. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that like it gets better for him, but
Mm-hmm.
I can't see it happening.
I
Yeah.
mean, the reaction I've heard from people watching the Doomsday trailer on right before Avatar, they're just like, no,
Yep.
nothing. Like you
Can
don't hear even a
confirm
bit
that
like,
was me.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's Uncommon Goods. The countdown is on. Holiday shopping season is officially here. Uncommon Goods takes the stress out of gifting with thousands of unique, high-quality finds you won't see anywhere else. Don't wait. The most meaningful gifts get scooped up fast, and now's the perfect time to cross names off your list. What I really liked when I looked at their website is that you can go to the exact category of the person that you're shopping for. So you can look for gifts for women. And then in particular, they have a whole section for moms, for grandmas, for wives, for teenagers. And within each of those categories, there's all these creative ideas. And I had a lot of fun looking at the teen category. I have some nieces and different things that would be fun to shop for. And I love the creativity in so many of the gifts. You've got create your own reel viewers. You've got a photo and label printer. I definitely think there is something for everybody, and it's worth checking out their site. And it's also nice that when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. Many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches, so shop now before they sell out this holiday season. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3.1 million to date. So don't wait. Cross those names off your list before the rush. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/hallmarkies. That's uncommongoods.com/hallmarkies for 15% off. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary.
That
All right.
exists.
Well, let's be positive now. Let's talk about our favorites of the year. We have our top
Mhm.
six, and I guess we can maybe probably be a little bit quicker on these six. But my number six is one I know the Manda was not a fan of, but it's my list, so that's
Uh-huh.
fun. I have F1. It's one of the
Ugh.
only movies that I saw
Mhm.
twice in theaters. I had so much fun with it.
Mhm.
I thought it had like star power and charisma, and the racing scenes were so good. And yeah, it was my favorite like traditional blockbuster of the
Mhm.
year. And so that's what I have at six.
Nice.
Molly, what about you? What do you have at six?
So, mine, I'm going to pick a documentary, and this was actually John Waters' favorite documentary too, which was unsurprising considering one of his favorite movies is The Girl Can't Help It. But My Mom Jane from Mariska
Oh,
Hargitay, and it is just so good. It
oh,
made me cry, and how she's exploring her mother's reputation, how she was sexualized, made into an object by all these men, and she's trying to reestablish who she was as a person because she couldn't remember her because she died when she was 4, and Mariska was also in the car with her when her mom was killed.
Oh shit.
Killed at 4.
oh.
Yeah, it was in bringing up that trauma in there and rediscovering her mom's talents. Like her mom was an excellent musician. She played the violin beautifully, and how she wanted to be loved in that regard, in that sense, and learning about her mom through her siblings, and also discovering her birth father because her mom had an affair with another man. And through that, Mariska was bringing up that she has her sisters on her father's side as well, and then bringing up their mom's legacy and bringing up why they're trying to reestablish it, in that she was more than just a sexualized object. She was a person who loved her children and was a talented, beautiful woman that died way too young. And it's just fascinating to look of how media puts these idealized versions of women in their own mind, and how the children who are left behind from it had to suffer through having their mom just being seen as the sexualized object and being ashamed of their mother as well. And I just thought she did a fantastic job. I cried. I think it was beautiful. It was
What's it called again?
touching. My Mom Jane, and it's on
Mm,
HBO Max. It premiered
mhm.
at Cannes.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
yeah, I
My favorite
highly recommend it.
documentary is Secret Mall Apartment.
Oh
Did you see
yes.
that?
I have
Uh,
not.
yeah,
It's on my watch list. You brought that up, I
yeah,
remember. Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. It's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of fun.
Yes.
Good choice. Yeah, I've heard that
Mm-hmm.
that one is good. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I heard
I've
it
heard
was
that
good.
one's good. Mondo, what's your number
Mm-hmm.
six?
I was late in the game to watch this one, and I'm so happy I did, and it was K-pop Demon Hunters.
Ah!
Yeah, the only animated film actually on my list right now, and I think it's gonna definitely take the Oscar for sure,
Yeah, I
just
think so
because
too.
of how buzzy it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Animation's gorgeous, story's fantastic. You can never fail
Mm-hmm.
with the power of friendship, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And just having an identity crisis as well. I think that it's just so beautifully done. The
Mm-hmm.
songs are incredible. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I'm sorry
Yeah.
that I watched it late, like way late. Like I'm talking months
I
later.
haven't even seen it yet, so you are not
Oh,
worth
you
late
Oh,
haven't?
you
on.
girl, you love it. Like I think you would really love
Yes.
it. So
I do
Wow.
think you would
yeah.
I
like
will have
it,
to watch
Molly.
it. Yeah, I think I probably
Yeah.
would. At least I gotta watch a musical I actually like this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Yes.
is very good. So please
Mm-hmm.
watch it. I love
Mm-hmm.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes.
Well, the musical that I liked most this year is my number five. It's Kiss of the Spider Woman.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
This was a huge flop. It really bombed, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was creative and inventive,
Mm-hmm.
and as a big Broadway fan, it was an interesting choice for them to make a movie of this because it's one of those shows that people know about, but
Mm-hmm.
like nobody knows.
Yes.
Like very
Mm-hmm.
few even hardcore Broadway fans have even seen this show. It was
Mm-hmm.
only on
Yeah.
Broadway in 1993 one
Yeah,
time. There's never
Cheetah
been a re
Riviera was the
yeah.
titular role.
And people know about that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just not a show that people know like the songs
Mm-hmm.
or people are
Yeah.
really familiar with
Mm-hmm.
the story. People might be more familiar with the original film than the
Yeah.
musical.
Mm-hmm.
And so you felt like watching this movie, I was being introduced to
Mm-hmm.
the show,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
fun,
Mm-hmm.
as both a theater and film fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that going into it that I knew coming out of it that it would be divisive because the way that it tells like these two very distinct stories, where so you have these two prisoners that are, and then the one is telling the story of this old school Hollywood musical, and then you see the musical. So like I could see how some people would feel like that's jarring to go from like from the one aesthetic to the other aesthetic. To me, that was creatively exciting. And the songs were really fun, and I thought the two performances were really captivating and well done. But I knew going out of it that okay, not everyone will like that, but I didn't think that it would bomb as bad as it did, which was unfortunate. But I really enjoyed it, and so that's my number 5.
It was actually because of that movie I brought up and I said, I think Wicked would have been better if it was directed by Bill Condon. I just
Facts.
like, and some people called me racist for it. I'm like, no, Bill Condon's
Racist.
gay. John Chu is just straight. And I think that was the issue. He can't let himself be musical. So,
But
Yeah.
then again, Bill Condon directed Beauty and the Beast, so
which had more color than Wicked, I will say.
Whoa, shots fired today. That's crazy.
I'm tired of the gray sludge and I'm not afraid to admit it.
Speak your truth.
Yes.
All right, Molly, what's your next?
All right. So this one was a tough one because there's so many 4.5. I've only given 5 stars to 2 films because I'm always like, I like the concept of
Yeah.
hindsight or I'm thinking of it. But I'm going to go with Sorry Baby by
Nice.
Victor. And I think they did an amazing job at the after effects of trauma, which was interesting because we were watching After the Hunt, which had a very similar version of it, except that was played as a thriller and just like are you telling the truth or aren't you? Which I'm just like, doesn't work well with
That
Luca's
was so
aesthetic.
annoying, that
It was
movie.
really annoying. But Sorry Baby just did it so well. And also, unlike the screenwriter for After the Hunt, Eva Victor actually knows what grad school is like in a small program. Because
Yeah,
you
that's
do that. You
true.
hang out with your other
Yeah,
classmates because those are the only people you see day after day. I've been to grad school where I had a program where there were only 10 of us at most, and we would go to each other's houses. We'd have parties. We do
true.
that and we talk about our thesis because that's all we could do. Then that's how we would connect. And they understood that, and I laughed. There were some great funny moments, and of course,
Hmm.
the catharsis of finding the kitty. And that ending scene with the
Hmm.
baby, we're bringing up just like, you can tell me whatever. I won't say I'm sorry, and I won't be scared. Scared, I'll understand. And
Yeah,
because we can't control when we have kids if they're going to be hurt, if they're way, because when you're a parent, you have to know in the back of your mind, there's a sense of, I'm bringing a child into the world that will be hurt because there's no way to avoid it. They will
yeah,
be hurt
part of
by
being
someone
human.
or
Yeah,
something, and there's just nothing. And you have to take that on. And her character is telling the baby and saying, I'm here for you. And
yeah,
that just broke me. And it was such a good debut, one of the best debuts in years.
yeah, agreed. I have it at 3. Sorry,
Hmm.
baby, at 3.
Nice.
I think just for that scene with the sandwich, when they're eating,
Yes.
that scene is
Hmm.
probably, it might be the best depiction of anxiety
Hmm.
and a panic attack that I've ever seen. The
Hmm.
way that it's portrayed, it was so authentic and real. And
Hmm.
as soon as he realizes that, oh my gosh, this is what is happening,
Yes.
because he's like a little like, why are you parking here? Kind of a
Yeah.
thing. And then he's like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, this is what's happening. And he
Okay.
helps her.
Okay.
It's
And he
great.
doesn't yell at her after. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
No.
didn't mean to. Like, try to calm her down.
Uh,
It's like, yeah.
it's so, there were a lot of movies that were like very heavy
Hmm.
this year. But the ones that I sort of responded to the most
Hmm.
were the ones that tried and balanced, I think, a little bit of humor with
Hmm.
the heaviness, because that's life. That's
Yes.
how you
Hmm.
cope with life. That's how,
Hmm.
Yeah.
especially like right
Exactly.
now, that's how I get through life
Hmm.
is
It's
through
true.
humor,
Exactly. Hmm.
and
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's not making light of the tough things, but it's just a
Hmm.
survival tactic. And I think that
Hmm.
Sorry Baby, all 3 of my top 3 really capture that well. So yeah,
Hmm.
I loved that. That's a great pick. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
Manda, what's your number 5?
I have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
I loved
Good
it
one.
so much. I thought it was gorgeous. Production design, costume design. The heart of the film is Jacob Elordi.
Mhm.
I thought he was
He
brilliant.
is really good.
So good. One of the best performances this year. I was gonna say my favorite, and then best, and then that's what the sentence came out as. I thought everyone was great. I think just it's such a very human, I guess, portrayal of the creature, more so than in previous iterations. I know there's been so many. This is most accurate to the novel as well. I love that they split into 2 parts like that. I think just showing that Dr. Frankenstein, obviously Victor is the monster in his own way. It was just really incredible to see that kind of balance between the two of them, of man and monster. I thought it was just gorgeous. I thought it's one of the most beautiful films of the year, and Papa GDT strikes again. He's in my top 5. He's there without fail, like Pinocchio. So I loved it. And if you haven't seen it yet, please watch Frankenstein on Netflix, please.
Yeah, it's excellent. I do think that the creature part is better than the Victor
Agreed.
part.
Yep.
And I don't know if I love the fact they split into 2 personally, but I think especially on those technicals, it's very strong.
Yeah.
No question.
My dad loved it, and that's high praise coming from him because he
Nice.
also watched
There you go.
House of Dynamite. It was like, I don't like this movie. I'm like, thank you, I don't like it either.
I didn't
But
like it either.
Frankenstein, he was like, I like it. I see what you're pointing out with this because he only watched halfway through, and he's like, I'm not sure I like this. And I was like, oh, keep watching, Dad. Keep watching.
Yeah.
And he rarely watches movies unless I force him to. So this is high
With my
praise.
dad. Well, my number 4 is one of the funniest movies maybe that I've ever seen in my whole life. It's The Naked Gun. I laughed my face off from beginning to end. I thought it was just so funny. And it's weird when you're putting together a list like that, for some reason, like outright comedies, I even though I'm somebody who tries so hard not to have genre bias, there is something inside me that's like, can I really put that in my top? I'm like, yes, I can. That was one of them. And so I don't know. There's just something about it that we don't want to. I don't praise comedies. I don't even know why. It's so weird, but it was so funny. I just loved everything Pamela Anderson did. She was so good in it.
She's so good.
If I ran the world, she would definitely be nominated for Best Supporting Actress. Like she was so funny in the movie. And so anyway, I absolutely loved it.
Funniest movie of the year, hands down.
It's hilarious.
It is so good. Yes.
Yeah.
Chili
and
dog.
that's why I was so frustrated. Like I voted against for the Oscar Awards, against splitting it into comedy and comedy musical, drama, whatever, like they do with the Globes. I voted against that because I knew that they wouldn't actually nominate like real comedies.
Yeah.
I knew it. And of course they didn't. And like it was such a strong year for comedies. And like, I'm not saying that one battle after another doesn't have jokes. It does. And it can be funny. I get it. But like, it's just frustrating when you have comedies like Splitsville and Naked Gun and Falcon Hall and that were like stick to your ribs comedies.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that they end up nominating for comedy are
Mm-hmm.
so thin,
Yeah.
you know. And one thing that I don't understand is that, like, and this is a tangent, but I don't understand. Like, I wasn't a big fan of It Was Just an Accident. I'm like one of the only people. But I would think
Oh,
that if you were
So
going
good.
to award it something, it would be a comedy. Like,
Y-
it is
Yeah.
every bit as much a comedy as One Battle After Another.
yeah.
Like, they have nearly identical tones.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand why that one was put in for drama at the Globes and
Mm-hmm.
why, I don't know. That makes no sense to me.
Was no other choice put in comedy? Because that would have made sense. I haven't been paying too much attention. I think it was Best International Film
It was
is
Best
all it
Yeah, it
was.
International.
wasn't,
It didn't get,
it
it didn't
would
get
be
It
Best.
should
comedy,
have
but I
been
don't think
nominated
it
for comedy
was.
because
It
it was
should have been.
definitely, it was funny.
It
It
was
was very
funny.
funny.
Mm-hmm.
It
It
was very
was
funny.
certainly more funny than most of what they nominated.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That frustrates me. That
Mm-hmm.
frustrates me. But sorry, that was a tangent.
It's okay.
Molly, what about you? What's your next one?
So this is the one that probably nobody except for a couple hundred people have watched. In fact, like Letterboxd only has 5.9 people watched it so far. So,
Whoa.
but I have My Father's Shadow by Ikinola Davies Jr. And this movie just got to me because I even described it in my letterbox. My review was the 21st century version of Bicycle Thieves because that's what it feels like to
Oh.
me. And it's the director reflecting on the last time he really saw his dad and his dad having to take care of him and his brother, taking him into Lagos, the city of Nigeria, to get money because the dad hasn't been paid in 6 months because of the military strife that's been going on in Nigeria, where they have their first democratic election in 1993, which of course there's this foreboding sense because if you look at if you see the history, it still was taken over by a military dictatorship after that. So there is this sense of foreboding, that this bittersweet tones of being with your dad for the first time in so long and actually connecting with him. He even takes them to swim, all this stuff, but you know this is not going to last. And you feel that time slipping away throughout the movie. And you know that this is going to be the last time they really see their dad. And it's gut wrenching. It's such a great performance. The actor who played the dad, I think this is his only film role that he's done so far. This is his debut. So, Supi Dirisu, I probably butchered his name. I am so sorry. And he does a fantastic job taking care of the dad. He's the same age as me. He's only like 33, 32. And I was just like, oh my goodness, I could not imagine doing this role. And it's just incredible. And it's coming out in 2026. So I highly recommend people, if you have a theater playing it, go watch it. It is so good.
Cool. I hadn't heard of that one. Very
Mhm.
cool.
Mhm.
Mondo, what about you? What's your four?
My fourth one is, I feel like the next four are like very generic of me. So the fourth one, I watched at TIFF, 9 a.m. screening, bawled my eyes out. The whole theater was bawling there, like just in tears, and it was Hamnet by Chloe Zhao.
Mhm.
I was wrecked watching this
I was
film.
there right by you.
I know.
We watched it together.
You were right on the other side. And then I looked at you and you're like, Rachel's not vibing this as much as I am.
I did like
So
it. It was just very heavy.
it's very heavy. And I don't know how the
Yeah.
heck we even did a 9 a.m. screening. I
That's a
thought
waker upper.
it is. And I couldn't watch anything the rest of the day. Thank God for
Aw.
like Eternity. Eternity saved it. Thank God. But yeah, this is very heavy. I thought Jessie Buckley was astounding in this.
Yeah,
Just very raw,
she's very good.
emotional, grounded. I thought
Mhm.
she was freaking brilliant.
Mhm.
I also think that Paul Mescal was very good too. I think people
Mhm.
aren't talking enough about his performance. It's more internal until
Mhm.
we get to the third act, which I thought was beautiful, done with different like just layers and
Mhm.
performance. I thought it was beautiful, and the fact that I got to see the Globe Theater again after going there in high school, which was pretty
Mhm.
awesome, pretty special. It was great. I thought it was
Mhm.
fantastic, and Jacoby Yoop.
Yeah.
Ace is that
Mhm.
kid. Good for
Yeah,
him.
he's so good
Mhm.
in it. And the fact that then they had his brother play Hamlet was so brilliant.
Yeah.
So
So
good.
smart,
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
that made it all full circle.
Yeah.
So it's
This
a it's
movie
a
made me
it's a good
consider, should we
film.
have juvenile Academy Awards again like they used to?
Yeah.
Like
I
Mickey
want,
Rooney, Judy Garland got that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would
Yeah.
be great.
If he
Hmm.
did get nominated, it would be deserved. I mean, he
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
like I heard that he's not included in the
Oh,
ensemble for the
geez.
SAG, which is
Oh, that's
insane.
insane.
I
Yeah.
hate people.
The Timothée Chalamet fans upset that he can no longer be the youngest Oscar winner
That's
here.
what
That they got very angry when I brought up that Jackie Cooper is the youngest Best Actor nominee, and he was 12. There's
Yeah.
nobody's beating that record.
Uh,
No.
well, I mean, but then there's children who've won. So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
wouldn't be like
Yeah.
Tatum
I don't
O'Neal and Anna
yeah.
Paquin
Yeah,
and
at least supporting actress, supporting they've won. I don't think they've ever
Yeah.
won lead. I think
oh maybe.
Quiven Wallace is the
She's
youngest
she's the
who's seen
youngest
Mm,
lead.
nominated for Best Actress. Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, that was Best Actress. You're right.
Hmm.
Well, my number three is Sorry Babies. We already kind of talked about that.
Hmm.
Molly, what's yours three?
All right, my three is The Mastermind by Kelly Reichardt.
Ooh.
I love this movie. I love everything Kelly Reichardt does, so I am biased, but it is gorgeously shot, gorgeously lit. Everyone is on their A game. I think this is, I know he was very good in Wake Up Dead Man. I agree, and the other stuff, but I think this is Josh O'Connor's best performance he's done in so long since God's Own Country, I think. And I liked him in Challengers too, but lead performance, I should say, because I feel like he's more supporting, but we could argue that. And I think he's done really well with this, where he plays this this young man filled with ennui that nothing really thrills him, and that he's stealing these artworks not because of any monetary gain, but because he's truly bored of the world in itself. And of course, it's in the backdrop of the Vietnam protests, and you see that. And it's so good. And it's funny. People don't talk about how funny it was. I remember the Reddit post. People were like, we had a secret screening. It was the most boring film I ever saw. The
That was
Mastermind. I
a
can't
weird
believe
that was a very weird choice for a secret screening. I mean,
it
like
was
usually
for these
you want to
guys.
do
Yeah.
things that are a little more mainstream. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
when I heard
Yeah.
that, I was like, what? Why would
What?
they
And I
do
thought like, okay, it's going to be a bit of slow cinema,
that?
like Certain Women, something like that. I'm still excited. I love Certain Women. It's one of my favorite films of the 21st century. And then I watched it like, I'm actually laughing a bit more than I thought I would be. And
Hmm.
it's just top notch. I love everything Kelly Reichardt does. I love her look, and it's a solipsistic version of look at what America is. And she's
Yeah.
just so good. She's one of the best American filmmakers we have.
Yeah.
And The Mastermind really just keeps that up. And I hope she still makes her film students mad. I love reading her Rate My Professor reviews where she brings up like not even her films are good. And she said my film sucked. It's like, your film probably did suck because you didn't make The Mastermind or Certain Women. I don't see you talking about that.
I would say I'm a little more hit and miss on
Hmm.
her than you are, which is
Hmm.
cool. I did not see this one yet though,
Hmm.
I
I haven't seen
definitely
it.
want to give it
Hmm.
a shot.
Hmm.
I think probably First Cow
Oh, I
I
love First
probably
Cow.
my favorite
Hmm.
I
of
couldn't get
hers.
into that one,
If
unfortunately.
it makes you feel better, Josh O'Connor is shirtless in a lot of this movie. I was surprised how many times he's just
I
walking
mean,
around in his underwear. I'm like, okay, we're
We'll
doing
be
this.
watching it later today. No, I'm joking.
he's basically in every movie of
Yeah.
2025.
He
And he's
is.
like, I got the
O'Connor.
muscles, not Wake Up Dead Man, of course, because he's a priest, which makes sense. I even joked that he's a former boxer. He's getting ready for his role in Golden Boy on stage because that's the character in there. He's a boxer who, in Golden
Oh
Boy,
yeah.
who, sorry to spoil a play from the 1930s, who does kill an opponent in the ring. So I'm like, he's
Ooh.
really getting into preparing.
Yeah. Mondo, what's your number three?
Again, pretty generic. I have one battle after another. I just watched it
Mhm.
again with my parents, and they had some mixed feelings. I think that's the best
Mm.
part of award season is that I show my parents the ones that I love, and they're like, "Man, what's wrong with you?" That's what ends up happening. I love it. I'm not like a massive PTA fan. I've recently started to marathon his films.
Hmm.
He is very good. Not saying I
Hmm.
just watched There Will Be Blood for the first time earlier this year,
Oh,
and I was like,
yes.
whoa, so good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
do think
great.
Leo gives a great performance. I think it's
Mhm.
very funny.
Mhm.
Chase Infinity is a firecracker. Tiana
Hmm.
Taylor is a firecracker. I just love the pacing of this. I think that is the massive takeaway here because it did
Hmm.
not feel as long as the actual
Yeah, no.
runtime.
Mm-mm.
And then everything's perfectly placed. I think everything, like, there's foreshadowing,
Hmm.
and PTA just doesn't leave any stone unturned. And I thought it was
Hmm.
just extremely well done, very timely as well. And yeah, I really loved it. It's
Hmm.
so
I
good.
liked it too. I think my favorite part of it was the arc of Leo's character. You know,
Yeah.
that he goes from being
Hmm.
this revolutionary to being the sort of fuddy-duddy dad, and like
Yeah.
the transformation that fatherhood
Yeah.
causes in him was I thought that was entertaining. That was interesting,
Yeah.
and so I liked that. And you know, there's certain sequences that are just so much fun to watch. Like, of course, this the scene on the hilly freeway, whatever.
Oh,
That
Mhm.
was very
Yeah.
entertaining.
so
I
good.
do think the movie's a little messy for my taste, particularly. I just felt like everything with the Sean Penn character to me felt like it was from a different movie.
Hmm.
It was
Fair.
like, okay,
Fair.
this performance and everything in it just feels so different than everything else. And
Mhm.
just certain elements felt like, okay, I just wish it was sort of coalescing a little bit better for me, but
Yeah.
I still overall enjoyed it. So yeah, good pick. I think that probably will win Best Picture.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I
That
can
would
see
be
that happening.
if I had to make a
Yeah.
bet, I think that's the one
Hmm.
that will win this year. My number two, I like this movie more than it seems like anybody else. So, you know, go figure. I have Is This Thing On as my number two. Again, this captured that tone of like dealing with heavy things, the breakup of a
Hmm.
marriage, but having the humor, having the warmth, having the as a literal coping strategy for dealing with trauma and difficult situations. And I loved Will Arnett and I loved Laura Dern in this, and I thought they had really nice chemistry. And there were people that were complaining about his stand up not being good. I'm like, yeah, he's an amateur. He's literally trying this for the first time. Like, how it would be totally inauthentic if he got up there and was like amazing
Hmm.
at it. You know, that would make no
Hmm.
sense. So some people's like all criticism is great, but like some of it I'm like, uh,
You're like,
um,
For sure.
but I don't really understand that
Rude.
that criticism. But I mean, I've read some critiques that were like, it's unrealistic that at like the Comedy Store or like some of these major places that someone like that would go on for an open night and get that kind of response. That's fair enough. Fair enough. It
hmm.
could have been like a more low key kind of place.
Hmm.
Fair enough, critique. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought their relationship was really well done, and I liked this idea of somebody like coping through their this difficult situation through trying something new for the first time and trying comedy for the first time and like using a creative enterprise, a new experience to deal with a divorce. I thought that was a compelling idea. So I really enjoyed it.
I have to watch it still.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too. They're sending stuff to me so late because they found out my apparently my nominations was January 4th. I thought my final voting was January 4th. They're like, no, your nominations is January 4th. So we're gonna wait
Oh,
to send
okay.
you stuff now. It's just like, but it's just perpetuating the problem. The reason we extended this because you sent
Yeah.
stuff so late in the
Mm,
first place.
yeah. Yeah. Well, Molly, what's your number two?
So originally I was gonna go with Resurrection,
Mm.
but that film is so hard to explain and it's hard to point out. I love it, but I am actually going to go with the voice of Henry Job as my number two pick. Because
Yeah.
originally,
Oh.
I at first was wondering, is this ethically, morally right to use Henry Job's real voice and this real girl who was murdered for the sin of being Palestinian in the wrong place at the wrong time. But then I realized it wouldn't work unless we used her voice. And that's what really works with this film. And of course, there are some spectacle stuff like that, but I think it works to enhance why we need films like this. Why? Because we see the real life reaction, and you can tell these actors, they're also reacting to this girl's real life death as well. And having to do this, like they start crying randomly in scenes where they're not supposed to cry. Like you see the tears just starting to well up, and you're like, you can tell there was no direction. The director, she did not direct them to do that. And it's very hard to watch, and it is just very, I had to pause. I had to take a breather. It was getting to me
Yeah.
because this happened. They recreated every single moment in this girl's final moments, agonizing moments. And you just, you are just so shocked, and you're just,
Yeah.
it's just something I think is going to reverberate, I think. And I
It's a
wish
documentary or
it is a docudrama.
oh, docudrama.
So yeah,
Okay.
so they recreate it, but they also have moments where they have the phone like pictures of the
Is it
people
like
who were actually
animated when they
there.
recreate it or like
Oh, live action people,
oh,
actors.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Huh. I
But
haven't heard
yeah.
it. Like I'm amazed. I've seen almost 300 feature films this year, new,
Mhm.
and I have not seen a single one of your recommendations yet. Which I love.
No
I think that's
way.
great.
That's
It's
awesome.
just amazing.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm
Yeah.
always the person that has to come in and be like, I'm watching the movies nobody else is watching. Or
Yeah. No,
like
I think that's
very
really
few people
cool.
are watching.
What's it
Watching. I
called
have
again? This one? The
the
voice
voice
of
of Hind Rajab.
That's funny.
cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's just incredible. I don't think it's going to win Best International Oscar. I know it's in the short list for the Oscar nominees, but I don't even think it has distribution. It's a
Mhm.
similar thing with the film that won Best Documentary last year. Why am I blanking on the name? My coffee
Mm.
hasn't hit me all the way. All the way, all the way.
Wow. I
Something
always forget
holy.
because the
Yeah,
documentary branch, it's always
yeah.
so lame.
Yeah, but this
Yeah.
one, yeah, it's just like I was shocked I was able to get a they sent a screener to all the critics. I was like, thank goodness for that, but it needs distribution and it needs to be seen by way more people. And unfortunately, they're going to fight to not have it to have distribution because makes the IDF look bad, which is kind of the point because they did this.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's just, but yeah, I would,
Interesting.
if anyone watch it, I wouldn't mind if people pirate it and they actually distribute it and have it sent for for anyone to watch it. Just everyone should
Yeah.
watch this movie if
Just
they can.
more accessibility.
Exactly.
That's the
Exactly. I'm a
problem.
librarian in my full-time job. I am all for access.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mono, what about you? What's your number two?
Again, it's fairly generic, but it just came out on Christmas Day, and it is Marty Supreme, my
Mhm.
number two. I loved it. I thought it was kinetic, it was energetic, it was just all out there. I love
Hmm.
Uncut Gems, so it's very reminiscent of that. For a ping pong player who wants to be the very best, and I think this is Timothy Chalamet's best performance to date. The guy puts in 110% every single time, but he's operating on a different level entirely here in Marty Supreme. I thought Gwyneth Paltrow back was amazing. I thought she was very good in her role. It was nice to see her in something a
Mhm.
bit more meatier to work with, and then you kind of remind yourself, you're like, oh yeah, she really is that
She has an
good.
Oscar for a reason.
Like she has an Oscar, like she's good. Like give her this again, other than,
Mhm.
being in the MCU for 10 years, which she doesn't remember. So it's like stuff like that. Odessa Zion was also very good in this.
Mhm.
I just think like, it's such a fun movie to watch. There's
Mhm.
so many obstacles. It kind of reminded me of The Color of Money as well, and I think
Mhm.
that that's also an underrated Scorsese picture. But I
Mhm.
think Josh Safdie crafted something so unique here, and it's all tied perfectly together, like the emotional resonance of trying so hard to achieve your dreams, and then your perspective shifts into something else at the end of this movie, and I thought that it was just so beautifully done. I got emotional, but it also gives you this like fiery spirit to keep going and do whatever you want to do, whatever your heart is set on. And I think that's it's a very inspirational film at the same time, and I loved it. I loved Marty Supreme.
I would agree with you, except for the fact that Marty Supreme was just a narcissist through and through for the
That
most
too.
part. That I
Yeah.
felt like Roxanne Hadida. I'm probably butchering her name. I'm so sorry. She brought up in an article that she didn't believe the ending where he gets all emotional about his kid that he originally just wanted to have put for adoption. And I agree with her. I don't think he had that much emotional resolve
Oh,
to do that
shoot.
because he did not show it much in the movie. And actually, I liked the movie, but I also just think I was rooting for the Japanese ping pong player to beat him at the end. I was hoping he'd finally lose and he'd finally get a sort of comeuppance, and that
Yeah.
didn't happen. But yeah, but a lot of other people are seeing it like your side of perspective, and I
Yeah.
can see that in a sense. But I feel like you have to ask yourself, does he earn
That's
that
fair.
dreamer labor? Does he earn that, or is he just too much of a jerk that you're just like, okay, then I don't care what happens to this little wiener kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
that's
mean,
fair.
he was too much of a jerk for me. I I think that part of the problem with me with this movie, at least my initial watch, was that I don't think it's being marketed correctly. I think
Yeah, no.
people, and I tried to say on the movie show, I tried to warn people that like this is not, even though you said it was inspirational, it's not a underdog sports movie. It's not that
No.
kind
No.
of inspirational. This is an art
No.
house. This is an artistic film. This
Mhm.
is,
Yeah.
and so for whatever reason, like I was thinking, okay, this, because I think because of the marketing, I was
Mhm.
thinking, okay, this is going to be, and I love underdog sports movies. I
Mhm.
mean, really, I do.
Mhm.
And so I was just kind of like, all these people, like everybody in this movie is a jerk. Like
Mhm.
everybody, I
Yeah.
intensely disliked every
Mhm.
single person, and which is fine, if you want to have that be a character, but it's not really my jam. Um, but especially if I'm expecting an underdog sports movie and I get that instead, that's
Mhm.
not like
That I
that's
can understand
frustrating,
that. Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
So then I watched it a second time because I wanted it with like I wanted to watch it with the correct kind of idea. And I was definitely more like mixed on it the second time as like an art house type movie. Um, so I can understand it is very well made. It's very well done.
Mhm.
It makes lots of
Mhm.
creative choices,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
just not really my jam. But I get it. I understand why you have it. So it's
Yeah.
very well made.
Mhm.
I get it.
I can't
Um,
not have a Chalamet picture. It's very weird now. I can't do it. So,
And he is very
Mhm.
good. If he wins, I would not complain. He is very good
Yeah.
in
yeah.
it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
my number one is for the most part, most of the Oscar contenders this year, I was very like, it was good, but I don't love it. I like most of them I recommended, but just not super excited or passionate about. But the one that I liked the most by far of the contenders is Sentimental Value. That's my
Mhm.
Ooh,
number one.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I just thought this script was so good. The relationship between these daughters and their dad, and I think anybody can connect with, relate with, whether it's your dad or some other member of your family that you've had to kind of forgive, or I have a very good relationship with
Mhm.
my dad. It's not that, but
Same.
everybody has those people in your family that you
Mhm.
struggle with, that the relationship, is challenging. So I think that you can connect with that aspect of these daughters and especially if you've ever had to work with family,
Mhm.
and all of those
Yeah.
feelings that go into
Yep.
that. I thought that was really true and authentic. All the performances are really good here. I think it's a little weird that Stellan Skarsgård is being put up as supporting because it's like
Yeah.
his movie is very
Yeah.
strange, but whatever. And I just thought the script was really good. I thought the performances were really good. I thought it touched on themes that
Mhm.
were very easy to relate with. It had humor in
Mhm.
there that it had funny moments.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was the best movie that I saw in 2025. The Sentimental Value.
Mhm.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm. That's a good one.
what about you, Molly? What's your number one?
Okay, I have a controversial pick, and
Ooh.
No,
it's
I'm
not as
shocked.
controversial as Babylon, so let's okay. So
Babylon's great. I don't
it
know what you're talking
was.
about. Yeah.
So my pick, at least Rachel, you were very mixed on this. My pick was it was just an accident
Okay.
by
Yes.
Jafar Panahi. And
Yeah.
and I just thought everyone was on top of their game. All these actors were doing their best, just doing all this. And these are people you could see in the streets of Iran, and you see these people and you know these people, they have been hurt, they have been terrorized by this
Yeah.
regime. And how it was shot, they had to shoot a lot from the car because Jafar Panahi cannot shoot because he's banned from filmmaking, and he still does it. And it's just the determination for him to speak his truth that really puts it over for me. The Miriam Ashari was just so good, and also she's one of the most attractive women I have ever seen this year with her gray locks in her camera.
Yeah.
I was just like so distracted. I'm like, you're so beautiful. Just it's just it is just so great in how these people, even the torturer, he's not a bad guy fundamentally. They are all in shades of gray, and there is that spectrum where they have to start to relate to the people that hurt them.
Well,
And
we don't know whether he's
Mhm.
a bad guy or not. We
Yeah,
don't
that's the
actually
thing. Hmm.
see
Yeah,
any of his
no.
bad behavior. We're
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
he did these bad things,
Hmm. Yeah.
but
And he does so admit it, but then you're like, is he really admitting it or because he wants to be let go? And then all these questions come into play. And I am glad there's no definitive answer there because he wants us to come up with our own reasoning and logic like these people are. And he wants us to also feel their frustration and their despair that of the world they have to endure and live in
I
will
mean,
just
the
yeah.
truth is that on any other podcast, that would not be a controversial pick at all. Like
No.
that is a widely beloved film for the year. It's just I'm the weirdo contrarian who didn't like it.
Mhm,
I say I didn't like it, but it's not like I didn't see some value in it. As you said,
mhm,
mixed. That's fair, I think.
mhm,
Description. I like Nahi. I was very excited to see it.
mhm,
But I just for me the humor was the problem.
mm,
I just didn't like the I felt like it was very shrieky. It was very like I don't know. I didn't like the humor. That was just didn't work for me.
mhm,
But I get it, and I certainly admire him as a human and as a
mhm.
filmmaker, and don't take
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
away from that and from his accomplishments. But yeah, that's just the reason why.
Mhm.
And I mean, don't you agree though that if you were going to put it in one camp versus another camp, that you would put it in the comedy camp versus drama?
I'm not sure. Honestly, it
Hmm.
could go either way. It's the same thing with one battle after another because there are
Yeah.
comedic moments, but overall, the subject matter I think one battle after another is funnier
Yeah.
than it was just an accident. But if you had to go with that, I would say it would most likely go in drama, but that's just
Hmm.
me in a
Interesting.
sense. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
maybe it was
Yeah.
just because the comedy really just stuck out to me, and
Hmm.
I just did
Hmm.
not think it worked. That's what kind of made the biggest impression.
Hmm.
Um,
Maybe
but
I should have picked Resurrection because that was also my other five-star film.
Yeah.
But that was just so hard to explain, even because I don't even really get it. But I was just like, I was moved by it. So
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
hey, I mean,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
What's your number one, Manda?
Also very generic. But I want to say before I move on, I do have It Was Just an Accident at number 12 for me, and I have
Hmm.
Sentimental Value at number 10. So they
Hmm.
both made it. They're
Hmm.
both fantastic films.
Hmm.
My number one, I love a Ryan Coogler film.
Hmm.
Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? I thought Sinners was absolute fire. Like I loved
Hmm.
every single moment of that film. I watched it in IMAX 70 millimeter. Just fantastic. The ensemble's fantastic.
Hmm.
I really connected with the characters. The tone shift with the vampires is probably one of my favorite things that happened this year. The aspect ratio changes, just
Hmm.
pure magic on screen. The soundtrack, the score, everything about Sinners is a perfect film for me personally. I thought Michael B. Jordan was fantastic in this dual role. People can finally recognize that he's talented because I know a lot of people do not think that he's talented and it bothers me. I know. A lot of
Hot
people
take,
like
he deserves the Oscar overall.
I mean,
That's my
he's
opinion.
good. Yeah, like he's very
He's
good.
very
I
good.
don't know. And
Yeah.
the people that constantly say that he can't act, I'm just like, go watch Sinners, please. Finally, like you can objectively,
Fruitvale Station. Fruitvale Station will
right?
eradicate any doubt in anyone's mind.
It's such a good movie, Fruitvale
Hmm.
Station as well. So it's just I think that, he deserves his flowers. Wami
Woohoo!
Masaku was fantastic. Delroy Lindo, who's not
Oh, he's
getting
so
the
good.
appreciation that he should, because he's
Oh.
so good in this.
Hmm.
I just loved every single thing about Sinners.
Hmm.
Much like Marty Supreme, I was very like
Hmm.
hyper after watching Sinners, and I think I watched it like 4 times in theaters.
Hmm.
Like
Wow.
Yes.
I loved it. This is the one that I kept
Mm.
going back to for sure.
Sinners is in my top 10,
Hell
so
yeah.
yeah.
We love
Yeah,
it.
it's a good film. I enjoyed it. It was a little messy for my taste, but it was good.
Fair.
I
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my top six, I have Sentimental Value, Is This Thing On, Sorry Baby, The Naked Gun, Kiss of the Spider Woman, F1. And if I was just gonna round out my top 10, I have Eternity, Little Amelie, Secret Mall
Yes.
Apartment, and The
Hmm.
Ballad of Wallace Island. That's my
Nice.
top 10.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, Molly, when do you want to give your top six again?
Sure. My Mom Jane. Sorry, baby. My Father Shadow. The Mastermind. And The Voice of Henry Job. And I guess I'm going to go with a tie with this was Resurrection. It was just an accident. So we don't
Nice.
have any controversy there.
Sounds good.
I love that.
And then Mono, it's yours again. Your six.
Yes, so my top six, I have K-pop Demon Hunters, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Mighty Supreme, and Sinners. But to also round out my top 10, I have The Life of Chuck, Materialists, and Eddington. So
Mhm.
those are all up
Oh,
there.
Eddington is good.
very
Yes,
good.
Rachel,
Yes.
Eddington is good. So
I didn't hate it. I was very mixed on Eddington. I didn't
To
hate
quote
it.
John Waters, if you hate this movie, I hate you.
oh my God, so funny.
He always has the most interesting top 10 of every year, so it's always fun, whatever
Yeah.
he says about it.
I admit
Yeah,
I tend to enjoy more traditional narratives when
Mhm.
it gets messy and I feel sort of, about the
that's fair.
script. I tend to struggle a little bit more. And so, maybe that's a weakness in my taste, but that is something. But there we go. We want to hear what you think. What you think of our picks, both worst of and best of. What are some of your picks? What films maybe that we talked about that you haven't seen, that you have seen? What do you like? What do you not like? All of that fun stuff. Put in the comments section. And that's what's fun about this is talking about film. And it's always something I greatly look forward to talk to both of you. So thank you so much. And Molly, where can people follow you?
So you can follow me on Twitter at Raspberry Raz. I'm also on Blue Sky under MB Raspberry and on Instagram under Molly Raspberry. You can find me right over there.
Very good.
Mhm.
And Manda?
Yeah, you guys can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter and oh my gosh, why did I just blank? Twitter and Letterboxd. Then you can check out my website, candidexcinema.com, and my Instagram is Amanda Guaraji.
Very good. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes, and at KSL Movie Show right now, at least. And so definitely take a look at that. And make sure you follow the Hallmarkies podcast. Lots of fun stuff going on over there. And I have my patron group, so check that out. Lots of cool stuff going on with the patrons. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. Really appreciate that. And if you're watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that so, so much. We just got over 10K subscribers on Hallmarkies, which was very exciting.
Woo!
So
Hell yeah.
thank you for that. And thank you to both of you. And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Happy New Year.